Bada boom, bada bang, bada bop. We are back with another QC running shoe in the house. On Cloudboom Echo 3 is on running. They put it there. It's not QC running. And guess what? I got this shoe. I said it later in the video, but I'm gonna tell you again right now, or for the first time. I got this shoe for $160 off this random website because somebody posted the deal link on the Supwell app. And so I've told you guys this before, but if you're interested in the best deals on running shoes, not only does the Supwell app have the best buy, sell, and trade marketplace, but people also post deals and links and discount codes to shoes like this from all across the internet. So if you want to be part of the best gosh dang running community out there, get the best deals on running shoes, get the best motivation, people getting after it daily, like everyone at the Jersey City Marathon this weekend, make sure you're on the Supwell app. All right, enjoy today's video. Dirty soda, Spike Lee, white girl, iced tea. You know what that song's in my head right now, man? Thought It Was a Drought. I've referenced it a few times recently. Thought It Was a Drought by Nevadius Wilburn. Apparently he changed his name to Cash, his government name. Somebody told me that. Cash Wilburn, a.k.a. Pluto, a.k.a. Young Hendrix, a.k.a. Future. The reason that song's in my head, Thought It Was a Drought, is because I'm realizing we're in a shoe drought right now. This is an absolute shoe drought. Yesterday, I ran in the Subaru Millionaire 5000s. Today, we have this thing, which dropped in 2023. I know the Boston's coming out this week. I'll probably get one more run in that, maybe do a comparison. What else is coming out, though? The Cloudboom, the On Light Spray version should be coming out soon. I think they did a limited release, but it's been dry out here in these shoe tube streets, man. So we're going back to the archives. But guess what? We're still going to be stacking mileage. I don't need new shoes to stack mileage. But I know a lot of the fair weather Franks aren't going to be coming around here because we don't have fresh Piba. But it's okay. We don't need the fair weather Franks. All right, we have the On Cloudboom Echo 3. Let's talk about On. So we already know On one side here, they make the best shoes for care and activity. Very popular brand. A lot of people think this says QC because that's what it looks like. It doesn't say QC. This is actually a solid shoe. It's the Cloud Runner. Charles and I got a pair of these last year. It's funny, On actually sent me these. They were solid. They're just good walking around shoes. That's what On does on one side. But then on the other side, they have quietly dropped one of the top 5 race shoes of the past year, the Cloudboom Strike. And this was actually in my top 3 6 months ago for my last marathon. This was one of the last contenders. This Alpha Fly in the Endorphin Elite. I ended up going with the Endorphin Elite, but this was one of those shoes that I was seriously considering racing in. So, personal favorite of mine, almost 100 miles on this, the Cloudboom Strike. I think it's up at 80 miles. Really fun ride. It's a great combination of soft comfort and bouncy speed. Really unique. There's nothing else quite like it on the market. The new Elliott Racer is close, but this one has more aggression and speed to it. Elliott Racer is more soft comfort. And then this guy, Cloudboom Zone. On did not hype this one up at all. They did no marketing for it. You can't even buy it on Running Warehouse or Dick's Sporting Goods or any of the other retailers where they sell shoes. It really was an odd release, but it's the Cloudboom Zone. One of the best speed training shoes out there. Might even be number 1 or number 2 for short distance, faster speed repeats. This foam was explosively bouncy on the slightly firmer side, but the fit was off. So On shoes usually fit long. This one fit really tight and short. It's definite half size up. And then you can see on the toe box here, this On logo is distorted. I don't know, it's kind of hard to see that on camera, but it looks like somebody took, when you're trying to edit something in a design software and then you grab the corner and it's not locked, the proportions aren't locked, so you accidentally distort it and drag a picture and then everyone's face looks wide. That's what happened right here. So I don't know if there were build quality issues. That's what someone was hypothesizing, that This was supposed to be build quality issues, but if you look at the details here, not that it was supposed to be build quality issues, that there were build quality issues and they didn't push it, but if you look at the details here, it says 99. It says that around the back too, on the other pair, on the right side. This was supposed to be able to handle 99% of training. This was supposed to be what a lot of people call a super trainer, just a shoe that can do everything. It was a really solid shoe. I don't know why On buried it, and they also priced it at $210. And then they have the Cloud Monster Hyper. Let me grab that. This is the Bada Boom Bada Bang Cloud Monster Hyper. Awesome long run shoe, great comfort. This very similar to the purpose of the Cloudboom Zone, the 99% of training. It's a daily trainer that can do a lot of different things. It reminds me of the Pegasus Premium with the floaty cushioned ride that you get from having the air suspended between the two layers of foam. So On really can make solid shoes. It's not just these cloud runnery type things that you see certain characters walking around in. So that is the context with the Echo 3. This is a shoe that was released a while ago. Reason I have it, I probably said this in the intro, but I don't know. I say this all the time, but I film the intros at the end. So I don't know what I did or didn't say. Since some days I get distracted, there's leaf blowers going, there's lawnmowers going, so some days I don't get to say everything I need to say. So I'll just say it again, or maybe for the first time. I got this for $160. Somebody posted a link to Sneaker Politics, which I had never heard of. I think I actually had heard of it. It's a streetwear kind of store, Sneaker Politics. Somebody posted it on the Supwell app, and it was $160, and they said, yo, this is a good deal. So I saw that they had a few pairs left. They didn't have any 10.5, which is my normal size. They did have a size 11, and I said, you know what? It's a gosh dang sneaker drought. I'm going to get this size 11, and we're going to make a video out of it, and we're going to see if this shoe is any good. So let's open this thing up. Bro, I might have to get my hands on the new Ghost 17. It's the biggest heat releasing this month. No, I do think we're going to see a few new hype shoes coming out of the Boston and London marathons. New Balance is the London marathon sponsor. They always do something big. I think the Elite V5 is going to be coming out of that. And then from Boston, we're going to see, at the very least, the new Boston 13 will debut from Adidas, and probably the Puma Fast R3. But right now, at the shoe market, we have the Cloudboom Echo 3, made for your fastest races. They say right here, like that lifespan 4 marathons. That's hilarious. So allegedly it's supposed to last only 120 miles, and they're putting that on the box. That's crazy. So yeah, the MSRP is $290. On always has an inflation, some tax on their shoes. It's so funny. I was listening to, you guys know T.O. Wallace, reviewer, and he said about the Vaporfly 4, he said Nike was getting tired of the inflation that brands were putting on their shoes because all these shoes had too much speed assistance and they're doing the work for you. So Nike created something where you have to do the work again in the Vaporfly 4. I thought that was hilarious. That is not a shoe that gives you a lot of juice. All right, let's open this thing up. Marathon shoe apparently only lasts 120 miles. Bada boom, bada bang. This looks pretty good. This really does. On knows how to make some good-looking shoes. It's no wonder that they're so popular for casual use because their shoes look pretty good. So we have white here with a pink tongue. You don't see a lot of pink and purple on men's shoes, and this is even veering more towards the purple mauve territory. And what's interesting is, so I never realized this because I never had this shoe. I'm late to the party here, but a lot of the design aesthetics are super similar to the Cloudboom Zone. Way more similar to than the Strike. But look, placement of the On logo in the back here, the suggestion of where a plate might be in the Zone versus where the plate actually is in the Echo. This material on the upper, very similar. It's almost identical upper material on these two shoes. Tongue, very similar as well. We have different laces. Oh, these are, I'm going to need to switch out these laces. These are the horrible laces that come untied. I don't think I have time for that this morning, so we're just going to have to deal with the untying. But yeah, two very similar shoes. You can also see the plate through here, which is cool. And this is old performance On, still trying to hang on to the Cloud Tech. And that's one of the reasons On gets flamed so much, is because these holes they have right here. And some shoes, they just don't offer all that much, but On is hanging on to them because it's their IP. It's their proprietary tech, this Cloud Tech. But you'll notice in their best shoe, they don't have holes. No holes in the Cloudboom Strike. They have these tiny, tiny little scoops on the side, but it's not actually a hole. So they're still trying to hang on to the holes here, have a suggestion of the Cloud Tech, but very similar to what we see in the Cloudboom Strike, where they're not actually offering all that much. Then bottom, good rubber coverage. The layout is super similar to the Cloudboom Zone as well. And then if you look at this part, this is the same bottom outsole design as the Cloud Monster, where you have the bumps out here, these textured bumps, which are echoing, no pun intended, echoing the holes from the inside. So you see this is where the Cloud Tech hole is, and then you have that textured raised bump. What else? Good padding on the upper. They spell out On running, so you don't say QC. Let's see. Yeah, stiff carbon fiber plate. Push test here. Ooh, this foam actually feels super nice. This is yeah, dude, this feels like it might be a really great shoe for me in my style. It's on the firmer side here, right in the middle. It feels like it's not going to bottom out. And we get a good rocker up in the front. Very similar geometry to the Zone, which I love. So this could potentially be a banger. We'll see how this foam responds, but all those elements I like. Let's put it in the lab. All right, man, weighing in the On Cloudboom Echo 3. I do think we're going to see a 4 at some point. Let's see. 241 grams. Now, this is a size 11. That's all they had. They didn't have a 10.5. So let's call it 233. It's likely would be in the 230s. Mid-low 230s if it were in the correct size. So if we compare that to the Cloudboom Strike here, bang, 224.5. So just a bit heavier, not significantly. I'm not even going to be able to feel that on foot probably. 15 grams, maybe I'll feel it on foot. But I'm thinking the difference between these two is likely going to be soft in the Strike and firmer in the Echo. We'll just have to see. And then let me throw few of my other, let me throw this one on. This was right behind me. This is the Elliott Racer. So this is what I was saying is super similar to the Cloudboom Strike. 239 grams, so near identical weight to the Echo here. This is the softest that I would go in a race shoe that I like. But man, this was very soft. I tried to do some threshold miles in it. It almost felt too soft. It was right on the borderline of too soft for me. When I was trying to crank it at the end as I was getting tired, just was not giving me what I was putting into it. Felt better when I was fresher, but a really fun, comfortable shoe if that's what you're looking for. What else? And then I'll throw some of the other discount race shoes you can get right now. So you can get this guy, Mizuno Wave Rebellion Pro 2. I really think this is one of the best buys on the market. This is 234 grams, so very similar to the On Cloudboom Echo, except you get a ton of foam in the midfoot here. It does this Cielo thing where you get that bump in the midfoot, but then the forefoot is so aggressive. It's like a Sky Paris combined with an Alpha Fly. You get the cushioned bounce of the Alpha Fly, and then the aggressive toe off of the Sky Paris. This is an incredible shoe, so underrated, and with the Supwell discount code on Running Warehouse, it's $144. Even without the Supwell discount code, it's under $60 or something like that. So insane deal for a really good racing shoe. No, it's not the latest, but it is the greatest. I think this is one of the top 5 fastest shoes on the market. Alpha Fly, Sky Paris, this, Rocket X2. What am I missing? Maybe Adios. The Adios is fast, even though I really do not like to feel that. But if you're looking for a race shoe, bargain race shoe you can use for training, complete banger. And this will last way more than 4 marathons, I could tell you that. It's not going to die on 120 miles. And then other shoe discount you could find right now, Nike Vaporfly Trace, 203.5 grams. So these Vaporflies are always about that soft, lightweight speed. I'm not the biggest fan of the series, man. The 2 was the last one that really captured my heart. The 3 is too soft and mushy, and then the 4 has just been completely uninspiring for me. But if you're looking for a solid shoe and you like something softer, you want a more cushioned forefoot, not the most aggressive feel, you don't mind a narrow platform, this is a good one to take a flyer on at. I think you could also get around $150 with the Supwell discount code on Running Warehouse. So quick overview of the market here. Why don't we just, oh no, we have to put this in the stack rate. All right, let's drop the stack check beat. Stack check, next check, bigger than my last check, stack check. All right, let's throw this thing down. Doesn't look or feel super tall. Bang, right around 40. Okay, so in a 10.5, it would be touch under 40. This thing is coming in at 40.3 and the size 11. Let's take a look at the Vaporfly 3. This is an interesting one. I can't remember if I weighed this in when I ran the OG Vaporfly. Well, we shall see. Boom, 34.8. Look at that. That's the effect of a soft foam squishing down over time. This is below 35 millimeters. That's what I'm saying. These ZoomX is just not durable, and that doesn't even have 100 miles on it. Now let's see the Mizuno. So this thing has the heel cut out. It's going to be kind of, we can do the offset. We have to squish the heel down. So if you squish the heel down in the back, it does come in at 42. But then if we take the foam in the midfoot at the widest point here, it's ridiculous, dude. That's 60 millimeters a stack. And then at the toe-off point at the front, you're getting 37 millimeters a stack. Toe-off point at the front of the Vaporfly, you're getting, you see that, around 27, 28. Toe-off point of the Cloudboom, it's more in the middle. You're getting 31, 32. So middle of the road when it comes to the specs, on the heavier side, but the foam seems like it's not going to be the softest, not going to be the firmest. I could see this being a solid option. Let's go lace it up and check it out. Hold on. QA check. On has been all over the place with these QA checks, but left 241, right 242. Bada boom, bada bang. Good job, On. Somebody really told me I would understand topo when I got older. They hit me with the, you'll understand when you're older. Topo. I don't think there's any age where I'll be okay walking around with no swag. I understand the premise of comfort. I make a hoodie called the Max Cushion Gang hoodie. I love comfort. That's what we're all about here on the channel, but if your comfort is an 8 and then the swag is a -3, there's absolutely no chance. The thing is, the Brooks Ghost Max, that's my favorite comfort shoe, actually looks pretty solid. Cloudboom Echo here. I would probably go true to size on this. I don't know, it's not super long in the 11. We'll see once I start running. Definitely more room than I typically have. It is kind of narrow, though. Even in this 11, it's just a narrow fit. It also looks like one of those shoes. When I was getting the glamour shots, I was noticing it looks like a narrow, lean shoe. But the upper is solid. These laces are absolute. I'm trying to be nicer. These are not good laces. You're going to need to switch them out. I don't have time for that right now, so I'm not going to do it. But there's a 50% chance they'll come untied. Yeah, decent fit. All right, quick walk test. This foam definitely feels firm, but let's get a walk test. So fit, the length is true to size. This feels a lot longer than I like in an 11. It's not going to be too long to run in. It's fine. Some people actually like their shoes to fit with this much room. I do not. It's just, especially for running fast, this is just slightly too much shoe. But fits well enough to run in and get a good read, but I would go true to size. It is very narrow though. I can feel the, the Saucony rubbing. I can feel that right here. So super narrow on the midfoot and right up here in the front. And then the foam feel. So this has a lower drop. It feels like a firmer, this almost feels like a 5K, 10K racing shoe, especially with the narrow fit. Doesn't quite feel like a marathon shoe, but we'll see. We'll see. So plan for this run. I'm going to get 10 miles. I'm going to do some 200-meter pickups just by feel. This is not a true long grinder workout today. I just want to get some faster turnover in, so we can think of this like extended strides, a light running economy workout before the next big session. All right, let's do this thing. Got the vibrant Supwell shirt on. This is the last day to get merch, by the way. It's going away. Summer or spring merch is going away today. Woo! This is kind of nice. I wasn't really sure what to expect, but out of the gates here, good bounce from the foam. Feels like a slightly firmer Piba, but more comfortable than I anticipated. It's not harsh. And I can feel it's one of those shoes that is gonna take some juice to get going. But good impact absorption. And it reminds me of the Zone, which I really liked in terms of the bounce and the tuning of the foam. Yeah, this feels like a slightly less rockered Hoka Rocket X2. Really nice so far. Great bounce, and the tuning of the foam is exactly where I want it to be. Bro, these birds were mating or something. Look at that. And they came about a yard from my face. That's crazy. Really saw my life flash before my eyes. First mile, 7:12. I went warm-up paces here. These feel great. Good bounce, but it's also, it's like an excited puppy, ready to go. I can feel that they're gonna be a lot better when it's mustard time.
get some strides rolling here. Just finished some strides. It's one of those shoes where the faster I go, the more comfortable it feels. It gets softer in the forefoot as I put more pace down. And it's nice because it's not harsh at all. I was afraid this shoe was gonna feel firm and harsh like the Under Armour. Not at all. Really comfortable for what it is. It's like a Rocket X2 with more stack in the forefoot and a slightly less aggressive toe off. True to size for me, so a half size down, might even get more bite in the forefoot. But I'm impressed at the comfort. If you want something comfortable and bouncy, but not soft, mushy, this feels like a good one. And it does not have the issue that I have with the Vaporfly, where I can't put power down. Feels like I can drive through this. It's a high torque shoe, it's not a low torque shoe. All right, I'm gonna go here, just 30-second pickups around 5K pace. Try to get that turnover going on fatigued legs. That's how we do it. "30 seconds, 5 flat pace." I'm gonna take these recoveries, I don't know, a few minutes. Thank you to everyone for all the kind words after the tough workout Sunday. It honestly wasn't as bad as I thought, but just grinding at the same level for months is a frustrating feeling. And I said this, I'm not a patient person, so sometimes when we're in the work, it can feel more like stagnation than it actually is. But what I find interesting is a lot of the time when I share the reality of how I'm feeling, people say, they try to pin it on some sort of disease. You have an iron deficiency or you're burnt out. No, this is what it looks like to be committed to doing something every day. And it's not about hustle culture or grind set culture. It's about commitment. And with marathon training in particularly, you have to live in a state of fatigue to progress. And that's my philosophy on business too. At the point where we feel like we've just been going and going and going and it's not getting easier, that's the point where we keep our foot on the gas. That's not when we let up. So I don't believe in burnout. That's a low mileage mindset. Life is hard. How we decide to respond to that adversity is a choice. Doing a manageable amount daily to get where I want to go, that is my path. So when I'm fatigued, when I'm feeling like, gosh dang, I've been doing the same thing over and over, it's not working. All right, let's switch it up, but we're gonna stay committed and keep pushing daily. The only burnout I know is the flames on my Alpha Fly 3s. All right, let's spin again. "29 seconds, 450 pace." Third one, 38 seconds, 4:48 pace. The corollary too is people are obsessed with this idea of balance. I actually think that it started to trail off, thankfully, over the past few years, but people like the idea of working hard and being committed, but they like the idea of balance more. Oh, I can do marathon training and still go out and have a good time with my friends. Yeah, you can, but you're decreasing the chances of hitting your goal. You choose what to be committed to. We all choose. You got to remember what the work looks like, though. For me, there's no shortcuts. It's coming out here every single day and doing something. And on the rainy days, when I can't do much, still giving it my best shot. That's the mindset. And when I can't do that anymore, I'll probably be dead. 38 seconds, 4:45 pace. Also, what I've come to realize is wanting to quit is part of it too. If it were easy, running, getting a YouTube channel started, owning a small business and growing it, it's the classic cliche. If it were easy, everyone would be doing it. So wanting to quit is part of it. Having that feeling is part of it. It's our choice how we respond. Everyone's got free will. You can get mad, you can get motivated. And man, where I came from, not a lot of people even make it to this level of success in life. And it's hard to remember that, but guess what? I'm not settling. All right, as for this shoe, we're halfway through here. I said in my head I was going to do 10 of these. I'm at five or six. This is really good. Pleasant surprise. Foam is perfectly tuned for what I like. I can drive through the shoe. It's not mushy. Great bounce. Responds well to power. Everything I like in a race shoe. And the comfort is solid for the recovery jogging and the warm up and cool down. So far, man, this is a 9 out of 10 for what I like. And it's a half size big. It's a complete banger. I'll finish these boys out though. I'm flying, man. We don't have very many flat stretches around here. That was 4:26. 4:26 pace. 31 seconds. When I did that speed block in January, I was struggling to hit 450s. Back up. Back up. Burnout. You know what the best solution for burnout is? Get a good night's sleep and then get back after it in the morning. Talk to me about burnout. 36 seconds uphill, 4:36 per mile pace. We up. I knew it. I knew it. I knew last week, after the down week, my legs would be back. So, progress, small wins. This is the work. Let's go. I'm calling it. I think that was around 10. Last one was 28 seconds, 4:31 pace. It's the elbow grease. This is the elbow grease right here. So my grandfather says, you gotta spray it with the WD-40. That's not gonna fix the squeak. You hit it with the elbow grease after. A lot of boys just wanna spray the WD-40. Know nothing about the elbow grease. I'm actually gonna finish off here 1 mile at marathon pace. Oh, look at that Land Cruiser. Banger. So I hit 1 mile marathon effort around a 5:37 pace. It was uncomfortable. It's funny, today 4:30 and 4:40 felt smooth, and then as soon as I lock into marathon pace, it just feels horrible again. So that tells me I need a lot more miles at race pace, because I have the endurance. I can run a 25-mile long run and recover. I have the faster speeds. I'm clipping off these shorter bursts, but in that 5:20 to 6 flat range, just the endurance is not there, specific endurance. And Brad Hudson is a great diagnostic tool for this from the Run Faster book. I was rereading it last week, and he had 3 things that you should check to see if you need to work on. It's either the strength, so neuromuscular fitness. Basically, are you weak? Do you feel weak on the hills? Do you not have the leg speed? Then there's the endurance, so slower than your race paces. Are you lagging? And if you're a more powerful runner, or you've trained a lot at the shorter distances, that's likely going to be it. And for most people attempting their first half marathon or marathon, their weakness is going to be the endurance. And then you have specific endurance, which is race pace. How long can you hold your goal race pace? And for me, that's it right there. I just need to get a lot of miles at race pace, and the way we're going to attack it is support. So 10% slower, 10% faster, anywhere from 5:20 to 5:50. I need to be accumulating as many miles as possible. And I remember at the end of the Chicago block, I was clipping off 6:04s and 6:05s in my sleep, because I had hammered that 2:39 pace into my system. So that's what I need to do now, hammer 5:41 pace, 5:43 pace into the system.
Man, this thing is a complete banger. 10 miles, 7:05 pace, 1 hour, 11 minutes, 30 seconds. There's just stray beetle wings up here. It's disgusting. Yeah, I think this might absolve On of the sins of the Cloud Surfer 2. That thing was horrendous, but this is a really quality shoe, man. The foam is tuned perfectly. Good underfoot comfort. Not squishy or mushy. Great pop off the forefoot. I can really drive through it. And the laces didn't come untied. I think I'm going to still switch them off, but this is a near perfect shoe for what I like. If you've heard me talk about the shoes I like and dislike for speed, this is it, baby. High torque shoe. You can put all the power down and it's going to give you it back and more. Shout out to On. Banger. And this is another one of those shoes. It looks like the Pippi Longstockings, but this looks like a cartoon fairy shoe, but it does not run like a cartoon fairy shoe. It is the furthest thing possible from that. And let's throw up the run this morning. If you remember when I was out here 2 days ago talking about the Vaporfly 4 on the long run, saying it felt like a Disney Pixar shoe. It felt like a shoe that I would just be prancing around the forest in like little Red Riding Hood, not able to put down power. This thing, not that at all. So if you look at these splits, this workout, 10 miles, I just wanted to get some turnover in. The race pace, marathon threshold, it's just been feeling not great the past few weeks. And whenever this happens, I like to switch up the paces. Even just a small dose of higher end speed like this can be a nice change of pace. And man, I was hitting some fast paces this morning. A few weeks ago or a few months ago, I was only hitting 5 flats, 450s. Today, I was hitting a lot of 440s and even some 430s in there. So goes to show you, man, if you stay consistent and you don't quit on the process, we will improve. People calling me washed. What are you calling washed? Hang them on the clothesline. Who said that? Was it Drake? Yeah, On Cloudboom Echo 3. This is a complete banger here. So this PIBA foam, it really makes all the difference. And I know a lot of the brands now are going on to more quote-unquote modern compound supercritical TPEEs. A lot of brands are softening up the foam. That's the big trend. I've heard even Asics, and I wonder if that's going to be another shoe that we see debut soon. The new, I think they're calling them the Tokyo or the MZ prototypes. I don't even know, but a lot of brands are moving towards these squishier foams. This last generation of shoes, Rocket X2. I'd even put Alpha Fly 3 in that category. The shoes that I think summer 2024 is the end. Now we're seeing a switch over. But Alpha Fly 3, Puma Deviate Nitro Elite 3, Rocket X2, this thing, Metaspeed Sky Paris, these shoes that have more bite to them, that take more power to activate. We're seeing a shift away onto softer, squishier, mushier. So first thing I love about this shoe, the tuning of the foam is perfect. It reminds me a lot of the Cloudboom Zone, which is essentially this, but without a plate. And I can't believe it took me this long to test this. Even when I had the Cloudboom Zone out here, what was it? I don't even know, November, October, December, whenever I had that shoe out, I loved it. So I should have known at the time, but this feels very similar. If you like the Cloudboom Zone, you're gonna like this. Now the plate position, it's actually not up near the forefoot here, but how it's coming down through the midfoot and the amount of foam you have on top feels perfect for me because you're still getting a decent amount of comfort. I think if it were closer up to the foot with the way this foam is tuned, it might be too harsh and uncomfortable, but I'm getting enough comfort up here, and I can even see some break-in lines already where I'm able to squish and compress the foam and then just roll through the plate. I have this in a size 11 versus my normal 10.5. I would have liked to get it in a 10.5, then have my size, so it's a little bit baggier up here. No fault of the shoes, it's just I don't have the right size, but I'm still able to put the power and get a nice roll through the stride. So great geometry, great foam, and then the stability is also good too. Third thing that I liked, I was impressed that at my slower, more relaxed paces, unlike the Sky Paris, right, unlike some of these more aggressive shoes, even the Puma Deviate Nitro Elite 3, some people have said that takes some mustard to get going. Not so much for me, but this one feels like more of a normal training shoe at those slower paces. So does a really nice job giving you comfort, giving you support, stability at more relaxed efforts. And then when picking it up, it responds really well. So let's go through those 3 questions we always answer on the first run review. First, how does this do versus its intended purpose? Now, On says this is a marathon shoe. They say it's only gonna last 4 marathons, so about 110, 120 miles. I don't know if that's true. Brands always say stuff like that. I don't know why you would say your shoe is only gonna last for, what's 104? Is that what it'd be? 4 times 20 is 80, 6 times 4, 104 miles. I don't know why you'd say that. You can start to see some fraying on the back here, so maybe it's gonna go away. Regardless, marathon shoe. I felt that the comfort was good for the entirety of this run. I only went 10 miles. I could see this being a viable long run shoe, and the speed, the combination of speed and cushion is great. I was worried it was gonna feel too harsh and rigid and it wouldn't feel great deeper into the run, but that is not the case. It is a comfortable shoe and a fast shoe. So thumbs up versus the intended purpose. Now, question number 2, how does it do versus the category? What I love about it, again, it's not super soft and squishy. It goes right in that cohort of shoes that I enjoy, slightly firmer tuned. It's not a firm, harsh shoe like even the Sky Paris can be. It's not a firm, harsh shoe like the Under Armour, but there's no gimmicks. And that's ironic with On, because On is the king of gimmicks with these Cloud Tech holes, and they barely even have them here. I did feel some of that. I honestly felt like maybe I did feel some of that squish, the Pegasus Premium Cloud Monster Hyper feeling, where you're getting that suspended air feeling, but no gimmicks here. You get the carbon fiber plate, you get the PIBA, you get a nice upper. It's just a shoe that's gonna get the job done. There's not a crazy rocker, but it comes together in a really simple, smooth, fun riding way, and it could handle all of my paces. That's where this spikes versus the category for me. Testing it down at 4, I think the fastest split I hit was a 4:26 200 meters. So entire goal of this workout, by the way, is running economy, so working paces faster than our goal race pace. So for us marathon training runners, it's I call it 5K plus. So goal is to get down to 5K pace or anything faster, and then do 10 sets of these 200 meters, which with as much rest as you need. So getting down to 4:26 pace, which is much faster than a 5K pace for me. That's dang near a mile race pace, maybe even faster. It felt good. And then at marathon pace, it felt lively as well. So the entire range of paces I would be going, this felt good. And then relaxed miles, it felt good too. And unlike a shoe like the Alpha Fly, it doesn't have the most aggressive geometry, so it wasn't punishing me, especially for landing on the heel. It's very friendly for heel strikers here. So heel striker friendly, bigger runner friendly, power runner friendly. If you're pushing power through the midfoot or the heel, this is gonna respond really well. And then as I was popping off the forefoot, it felt good too. So I think a lot of people are gonna like this shoe. If you do like the softer platforms though, if you're a smaller runner and you like the Vaporfly, this might be too firm for you. It also is on the heavier end of median, heavier end of average. Anything from 210 to 240 in my sizes, they're all gonna feel roughly similar, and it's not noticeable, but this is on the heavier end of that. For me, I enjoy the greater support and that robust feel, so it doesn't make a difference, but if you don't like heavier shoes, that might be a problem. Now, third, how does this do versus all the other shoes on the market? This very much feels like a speed shoe, very much feels like a marathon shoe. I could see this being a fun tempo training shoe or even long run shoe for some people. It's not too aggressive, and it reminds me in some ways of the Cloud Monster Hyper, except better for speed. And I think this is what people were expecting the Cloud Monster Hyper to be. This is what some people like out of a shoe like the Super Blast, where you get a lot of race foam, but it's not too aggressive. It's a really nice package. So the one concern I have is the fact that On is saying it's only worth 4 marathons. So I got this for $160, by the way, if I didn't say that or you skipped ahead to the end. So that's my one concern with it as a training shoe. But if you're looking for a fun 5K, 10K half marathon shoe, this could be a nice choice. I'm not sure if I'm going to get a long run in it anytime soon to really verify the performance for the marathon. So if you have tested this on a marathon or a long run, please let us know in the comments. But I can say with confidence right now, for speed training, for 5K training, 10K training, half marathon racing, this is a complete banger. I would buy this over the Vaporfly 3. I told you the shoes that are in this category price point right now, Vaporfly 3 at around 144, and then same thing with the Mizuno Wave Rebellion Pro 2. All these older model shoes which are on sale. Pro 2, that is a really special shoe. That's probably better for the faster end speed, more aggressive than this. This is a more comfortable, versatile overall shoe than the Mizuno. So if you want something super aggressive, more fun, I'd go for the Mizuno. If you want a steady, solid training companion, I would go for this. Again, I don't know how it's gonna hold up with the miles, but it's a complete banger when it comes to the ride. So Cloudboom Echo 3, I've been sleeping on this for sure. I'm a big fan. I hope they keep this formula intact for the 4. I know they have the light spray coming out and they have the Strike, which is super soft, and I do like that shoe, but it's nice to have something firmer, simpler, more of a direct feel, but that still has good cushion in the forefoot. That's the key. Good cushion in the forefoot, not too aggressive, and perfectly tuned. It's even less aggressive, this, than the Rocket X2, but still has that faster speed capability. So big thumbs up. Yeah, I don't know why it took me this long to review it, but I'm a huge fan of this. If you can get it for 160, 150, and you want that new speed race shoe, bada boom, bada bang. All right, that's all I have for you today. I'll be back tomorrow with another video.